Thank you so much, Ambassador Roy, for your very kind words. And let me thank the U.S.-China Policy Foundation for honoring me tonight. It is also a privilege for me to be one of the honorees alongside with Mr. Jiang, Madam Li, and my good friend, Ambassador Max Baucus. This is a great encouragement and motivation for me. My colleagues and myself will continue to do our utmost to help build a strong and stable relationship between our two great countries. But at the same time, we should never forget that so many others have played key roles and made valuable contributions to this important relationship. Just now, we were so pleased that President Nixon's daughter came to join us. And this year marks the 45th anniversary of President Nixon's visit to China. But even before President Nixon's visit, there were already people who advocated reopening and normalizing relations with China. People like my professor at SAIS, A. Doak Barnett. And in the 45 years since Nixon's visit, successive Chinese leaders and 9 presidents of both parties in the United States have all committed themselves to this relationship. And numerous people have made great contribution to it. Of course, tonight we have some of the outstanding examples with us. Ambassador Stapleton Roy, yourself, and of course Ambassador Max Baucus, and I have to note Ambassador James Sasser, although he is not with us tonight, and Professor David Lampton, and my good friend John Holden. Where are you? Yeah. And of course, especially Dr. Wang Ji, who founded and have led this foundation for so many years. We are deeply, deeply grateful to all of you. Without your long-standing efforts, we would not have been able to gather here tonight and celebrate. Thank you all very much. And with such long-standing and joint efforts from both countries, China-US relations over the years have developed on a stable track and maintained a positive momentum. And of course, the latest development is President Trump's first state visit to China just a few days ago. President Trump was the first visiting foreign head of state after the 19th National Congress of Chinese Communist Party. And he was the first foreign head of state to call President Xi Jinping at the conclusion of the party Congress. And indeed, it was the first time for the American president to do that. We appreciate that. And during the visit, President Xi Jinping and President Donald Trump held in-depth exchanges of views and reached important consensus, which set the tone and direction for our relationship. The two presidents agreed to stay in close contact with each other and to provide strategic guidance for the relationship. And the two sides decided to enhance high-level exchanges and make best use of the high-level dialogue mechanisms. The two sides also agreed to expand mutual beneficial cooperation in various fields and manage possible differences on the basis of mutual respect. The two sides also agreed to promote mutual understanding and friendship between our two great peoples and promote even better cooperation at subnational levels. The two sides also agreed to join hands in response to so many global, international, and regional issues, including in particular the nuclear issue on the Korean Peninsula. And also, the two sides signed a number of business deals with the amount of over $250 billion. So the visit was constructive and fruitful. It received positive responses from the public opinion of both our countries and the international community. But of course, there are always people who would complain or raise questions. For instance, there are people who are now complaining about the warm hospitality President Trump has got in Beijing. Honestly, I don't quite understand why people should be unhappy in America about the warm hospitality the US president has got in China. And even more important than the protocol arrangements was the depth and breadth of the communication between our two presidents. The reaffirmation of our growing common interests and the need for even better and closer cooperation between us for the benefit of our two peoples. Some other people believe that there was little progress on the Korean issue during the visit. But I think our two presidents reaffirmed their commitment for denuclearized and peaceful Korean Peninsula and their determination to implement all the UN Security Council resolutions and seek a diplomatic solution to the problem. I believe this is a very important and strong signal. Hopefully it will help us to find a solution to this difficult and sensitive issue and help us to stabilize the situation on the peninsula. Still, other people believe that the economic outcomes of the visit were below their expectations. I don't think $250 billion is a small number. Of course, some of the deals will have to be implemented. But such a long and impressive list is the outcome of the joint efforts of two governments and the two business communities. As long as there is sufficient political will, they will be implemented and bring real benefits to our two peoples. Some people may believe that it's their job in the government to fight with other countries over trade disputes. But I would suggest it's their responsibility to build a strong and stable economic relationship between our two economies. And indeed, we all owe it to our people that their aspiration for a better life would not be affected by any trade war or any short-sighted, narrow-minded political schemes. As for various accusations against our economic and trade relations, I would suggest people to study again elementary economics. Have a closer look at the concept of comparative advantage, the virtues of competition, the international production chain and value-added chain, and the fundamental changes in the global economic structure. Actually, we learned all these things from our friends in the developed economies. But the problem today is that the preachers no longer believe in their own preachings. As for what China wants from President Trump's visit and from this relationship, I think it's clear and simple. We want to build a strong partnership with the United States based on mutual respect and mutual benefit. This partnership will make each of us better able to accomplish our domestic goals. This partnership will bring both countries together in a stronger position to respond to so many challenges in today's world. This is the essence of China's policy towards the United States. This is what we actually want to have in the relationship. And of course, as for China's domestic and foreign policies, there's no better presentation than President Xi's keynote report at the 19th Party Congress. The 19th Party Congress formulated a blueprint and an action plan for China's development in the new era. It set the goals for China for the years 2020, 2035, and 2050. It adopted a development strategy that is rooted in China's national condition and at the same time very much in keeping with the global trend of our times. This is a people-centered development. As President Xi said, the wish of our people for a better life should be our mission. So China aims at all-round human development and shared prosperity among its people. This is a development with integrated progress in all fields: economic, political, cultural, social, and ecological development. This is a development that is guided by a greater emphasis on innovation, coordination, green growth, openness, and sharing of benefits. This is a development that continues to follow the strategy of reform and opening up. As President Xi said during the meeting with the press at the conclusion of the Party Congress, the great goal of rejuvenation of the Chinese nation will be achieved in the process of reform and opening up. So China will deepen all-round reform, improve our system with Chinese characteristics, and modernize China's system and capacity for governance. China will aim at a globalization that is more open and inclusive, more balanced, more equitable, and beneficial to all. China will work together with other countries to create new drivers of common development through the Belt and Road Initiative. China will adopt policies to promote high standard trade and investment liberalization and facilitation. We will implement the system of pre-establishment national treatment plus a negative list across the board, significantly ease market access, further open the services sectors, and protect the legitimate rights and interests of foreign investors. All businesses registered in China will be treated as equals. And as an integral part of this development strategy, China follows a foreign policy that aims at a new type of international relations featuring mutual respect, fairness, justice, and win-win cooperation, with a view to building a community with a shared future for mankind. We are ready to make great contributions to world peace and development, and through consultation and collaboration with others, help improve and enhance global governance. We seek global partnerships, and we are ready to expand convergence of interests with other countries. Of course, China will never give up its own legitimate interests, but we will never pursue our own development at the expense of others. China will never seek hegemony, nor will we pursue expansionist policies. And this is the backdrop against which we build our relation with the United States. And this is the future direction where we believe our relationship should be going. In his book, World Order, Dr. Henry Kissinger said, and I'll quote, "Each generation will be judged by whether the greatest, most consequential issues of the human condition have been faced." And today, we are confronted with such a test. Are we able to build a more stable and prosperous world for the benefits of all countries? Can China and the United States take the lead in these joint efforts? I hope and I believe our two countries will make the right choice to confront the challenges and seize the historic opportunities. But this is not only a task for our two governments. We need the support and the participation of our two peoples. And in this regard, I hope the U.S.-China Policy Foundation will continue to take the lead in supporting public opinion for this great relationship. And thank you all very much.